What's going on, everyone? My name is Under the Radar, and welcome to a draft analysis for the Maryland Torterrapins. So I'm calling it a draft analysis because I did not draft this team. I took over post-draft before week 1. Now I was only allowed 6 transactions, which sucked. I would have loved to have unlimited transactions. I would have dropped the whole team, if I'm just being like 100% honest with you. I would have changed up literally everything. But I got 6 transactions. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go over the team that I now have and why I went with certain things and why I traded out certain things. So the team that I took over was very, very, very top heavy. It had Latios. So the only mons that I think I kept, no, because I had to keep 5. I kept Latios, Scizor, I think Nidoqueen, and Rotom Heat, and then like one other. But so I traded out pretty much everything. But basically, I had Latios, and that was like something that I was super excited to have. And I had it with Keldeo, which I said was a really good pairing, but I did not want that with everything else that the team already had that I could not get rid of. If I could have scrapped the team entirely and kept those 2 Pokemon, I would have kept just those 2 and I would have moved forward with that. But I couldn't, and that unfortunately made Keldeo look a little bit lackluster with Lottie. So I went with a little bit different of a route with what I was going to try to do, and I wanted to go with like a bulky offensive team to center around Lottie trying to be the main win con. Not like the main win con, but a powerhouse with a lot of its checks being able to easily be taken care of. So I said, so I have Lottie, phenomenal Pokemon, phenomenal speed tier for the team, phenomenal coverage for the team now that it gets Baton Pass, Mystical Fire, and Aura Sphere, phenomenal Pokemon. So I wanted to keep Scizor because of the ability to just absolutely shred through fairies and fat psychics. Those are the 2 things that I really loved about this Pokemon. It has really good knockoff spam possibilities, really good recovery and roost, and I have really good fire resists on the team. Between Latios, you can see Suicune, you saw I had Rotom Heat, and I've got another one a little bit later on in the draft that I think is pretty cool. So I've got a handful of Pokemon that can really just pivot around in pressure. So Lottie plus Scizor, phenomenal core. I really like it. Shuckle King has it in NCP, and he is a phenomenal player, so why not copy him? So once I saw that I wanted to keep Lottie and Scizor, I realized that I needed a fat water because I do not feel comfortable with the draft without a fat water, preferably one with reliable recovery. And if it doesn't have reliable recovery, I just want it to be a resist all. So I went with Suicune for the team because I really do like that resist all type mentality that Suicune does have. Suicune is a phenomenal Pokemon with just being able to pressure stall everything, and that was why I wanted to drop I can't remember what Pokemon specifically I dropped for it, but I might be able to go into... Okay, so the Pokemon that I dropped: Bouffalante, Cramorant, Keldeo, Tapu Bulu, Mr. Rhyme, and Liepard. So Tapu Bulu could have been nice for the team just because I didn't really have a lot of ways of reliable recovery, and I didn't have the best options for fairies. But you saw I picked up Aromatisse, and Aromatisse is one of my favorite fairies in the game. So but when I said it was very top heavy, I dropped 3 20-point mons, a 40-point mon, and then a 180 and a 160. So it was extremely top heavy, and I was able to balance it out a little bit more, which I'm super happy with how the team turned out, honestly. So once I had Suicune, I knew I needed rocks. I don't have a rocker on my first 3 picks. I don't have a grounded poison type, and I don't have a ground type, and I think that electric is a pretty good typing. So my next 3 that I knew I had to keep, I kept Rotom Heat, and I kept Nidoqueen. These are 2 mons I kept, and these are 2 mons I kept. And then on the last page, I think there's 1. I picked up Suicune and Aromatisse. So yeah, so I have my rocker, grounded poison type. I had this in NCP too. It does suck that I overlapped a little bit with the Pokemon that I have, but you know, it does what it does, and it does it well. It's a very reliable stealth rocker. It's very fat, but it also is very good at breaking through holes in certain teams. So it's very, very nice in that aspect. And realistically, if there was any Pokemon that I had to keep from this draft, I'm glad that it was Nidoqueen, because typically going against a Nidoqueen sucks, but using it is a little bit more fun. So I really do like Nidoqueen on this team. I wanted to keep Rotom Heat because it is a ground immunity for Nidoqueen. It is an electric resist for Suicune, it is a fire resist for Scizor, and it is an ice resist for Lottie. So basically everything that threatens these first four, aside from Scald, Rotom Heat can switch into, and Scald I have Suicune, so it's very, 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 very good. I really do like Rotom Heat on this team, and I've never used Rotom Heat before, but every single time I go up against it, I'm like, shit, how do I switch in to a Pokemon that I can't switch in my grass type to an electric type attack, because I'm just going to get nuked by Overheat. I can't switch in my ground type because I'm going to get Will-O-Wisp, or I'm going to get overheated and get nuked. And it has really reliable defog potential. Heavy duty boots makes it phenomenal, so it is phenomenal. It is a really good Pokemon on this team, and the synergy works really, really well. Next up, we have Aromatisse that I wanted to add to the team because I needed a fairy type to replace the Tapu Bulu that I dropped, but I also needed Witch support, because if you notice, these three Pokemon that are a really good bulk core don't have reliable recovery, and because they don't have reliable recovery, I really wanted to have a good Wish Passer, and a good Wish Passer in Aromatisse. So that's kind of where that was. And let me go ahead and just hop over to the other five. I don't want to switch screens live, because if you guys see that, then I'm going to be a little bit upset because I have my first 2 weeks teams built. So the other five Pokemon that I have on this draft, Decidueye is a Pokemon that I really wanted because I needed a grass type to be able to pressure certain fat waters, because I knew that Rotom Heat wouldn't be the best to pressure fat waters because it can't really take Scalds. So I wanted something that could take Scalds if I wanted it to, if I wanted to run a special variant, but I also wanted a Spin Blocker, another Defogger to go along with Rotom Heat and Scizor. But I also wanted a Pokemon that could get me momentum and U-turn, and have a U-turn core, well, pretty much Volt Turn with Rotom, Decidueye, and Scizor. So I wanted to have that really nice momentum, and I really like the offensive ghost typing. And that's kind of why I decided to pick this one up. I needed a dark type, and the last one around that I could afford was Spiritomb. Literally the only reason why I got it. It wasn't like a pick that I chose because I really like Spiritomb. I actually hate Spiritomb, but I needed a dark type, and I needed a fat one, and I needed a pretty good one. So I've got good fairy checks. I've got Nidoqueen, I've got Scizor. So being able to have a Pokemon that basically doesn't have any immunities or any weaknesses aside from fairy is really, really good. So next up, Omastar and Rhydon. I wanted another couple rockers on the team to go with Nidoqueen. Rhydon is the fifth mon that I did keep from the draft. I wanted Omastar because it gives me spikes, it gives me toxic spikes, it gives me stealth rocks, it gives me shell smash sweep potential, it gives me a bunch of different options, and it just gives me a really good breaker with power or meteor beam after a shell smash. So it is a very good sweeper, and it's really it's a good budget sweeper. So I really like it for that. And then Rhydon is just super fat, and I have really good grass answers. I have Scizor and I have Rotom Heat. I have really good water answers in Lottie, in Suicune, and in Decidueye. So I have really good answers to the 4x weaknesses that it has, and everything else I can just get off really good chip damage, and it pretty much never dies from any one hit, so I can always get up rocks, which is really, really good. And then I wanted Pikachu because I wanted a hard hitting electric type rather than a bulky one in Rotom Heat, and I also wanted one that could potentially be a fast electric type. And Pikachu, believe it or not, with base 90 speed, even though these offenses look kind of ass, with Light Ball it actually hits pretty hard. So that is the team. Overall, I'm going to get a picture up on the screen for you guys. Give me just a second. Overall, this is the team right here. I'm not disappointed with it. If I had unlimited transactions whenever I took over the team, I would not have Omastar plus Rhydon. I would not have Decidueye plus Spiritomb, and I would not have Rotom plus Pikachu. So I would have changed this team up quite a bit more than what I already did, but because I was forced to keep 5 mons on the draft, I had to do that. Now I could have traded with other coaches, but it was before week 1. Coaches drafted and they wanted to use what they drafted before they like traded stuff away, which I understand. So I wish I was able to make more transactions, but you know what? This is a really cool team. I'm super excited to use Latios and Scizor, and I'm really excited to use Suicune again. Last time I used Suicune, I won the league, so I'm super excited for it. I'm really I'm over the moon with it. Couple of things about this league: it will be uploaded on a different day from NCP. I will be doing a separate video for team builders for it, and I did just get team builder as well as battle layouts commissioned for the league, so I will be using those in the coming weeks, and I'm very excited for it. If you guys like the team, if you guys would have changed anything, now again, the 5 that I kept were Latios, Scizor, Nidoqueen, Rotom, Rhydon. That's what I had. I could have gotten Urshifu Rapid Strike, but I could not afford it with something like Aromatisse. So it was rough. I needed to drop Rotom Heat, honestly, for something else, so that way I could get a really good Pokemon like Urshifu Rapid Strike. That would have probably made it a lot better, but you know, it is what it is. This is the team that I'm stuck with for this season, and I'm super excited for it. If you guys could, please leave me a like down below for me. Also, make sure you guys leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you think of the team, and I'll see you guys in week 1, which I think is going to go up tomorrow. The week 1 team builder is going to go up tomorrow. I think that's what I'm going to do, just have this go up the day before, since it's not a real draft analysis. But with that, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.